Hello again, everyone. This video is intended to go a bit more in depth on some of the important features of a camera. Now, whether you're capturing a quiet moment or an abstract concept or even just raw emotion, your camera's sensor, the pixels, and resolution shape how your creative idea comes to life. So let's jump in. The camera sensor is like the heart of the camera. It's basically a special microchip made to capture light and then convert that into electrical signals that can be processed into an image. Now, every time you actually press the shutter button on your camera to take a picture, light enters into the camera and is captured in that very moment. Your idea is recorded inside the camera. Now, in the last video, we went over 4 main image sensor sizes. And yes, the size does matter, especially when you print in art photography. Now, just as a reminder, here are 4 common types of image sensors. Micro Four Thirds, which is small, still decent though. APS-C, which is medium size and pretty good. Full frame, that's large and pro quality. And then last, medium format, that's huge and gives the richest detail. Now, there are some other image sensor sizes out there, but these are just the 4 most common. Just think of the sensor kind of like a bucket of water collecting rain. The larger the bucket, the more water you can collect. Well, the bigger the sensor, the more light you can collect. Now let's talk about pixels. See, pixels are the literal building blocks of your image. These are tiny little squares that collect light and color. In fact, millions of them are working together to build your photo. So when you hear that a camera has, say, 24 megapixels, that actually means that it has 24 million pixels on the sensor. Sounds kind of nice, right? But here's the truth. You see, more pixels doesn't necessarily mean better art. In fact, if you have a small image sensor and a lot of pixels, you're basically just cramming the pixels together to fit into that space, which can actually reduce the image quality, especially in low light. You know, you'll see this a lot with your phone cameras that have very small sensors and are not usually very good in dark environments. Phone cameras, in fact, are awesome in good light, but in darker environments, you really need to have a camera with a larger sensor so that way the pixels can actually have more space and produce better quality images. Hey everyone, just really quickly, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, ArtLens Academy. You see, anyone can take a picture, but becoming an artist, that takes a little bit more. Now, ArtLens Academy is a comprehensive program built on a 4-part framework. It's designed to take you from photography basics to true artistic expression. Now, you'll learn the ins and outs of your camera, you'll master lighting and editing, you'll even discover how to tell powerful stories through your images. But it doesn't stop there. In fact, ArtLens Academy actually helps you build a portfolio, a career, and a creative practice that's rooted in meaning and spirit and voice. So if you're ready to grow, and not just as a photographer, but as an artist, then this is your path. Click the link below to learn more and start your journey today. Now let's get back to the content. Now, pixels come in different sizes. So if you have a larger sensor, you can actually have larger pixels or even more pixels. The more pixels you have, actually, it generally gives you more detail in the image, which is beneficial for large prints or just for cropping. Now, there is a bit of a sweet spot between the size of the image sensor and the amount of pixels. I should say, though, that the technology is definitely getting better in these areas, and we're going to see that a lot in the coming years with your phones. Now let's talk about resolution. This is how much detail your image holds based on the number of pixels. There's one key question that you have to ask yourself. How do you plan to share your art? Are you sharing on Instagram or an online portfolio site? Well, then a 10 to 12 megapixel camera is probably plenty. But are you printing gallery size images? Well, then you probably need at least a 24 megapixel camera to give you the freedom to print large or even just to crop in and retain details. Or maybe you're working conceptually and doing mixed media work or collage work and painting over your photos. Well, then resolution may not even be your top priority. High resolution does give you more flexibility on what you want to do, but creativity is not defined by the sharpness of the image. In fact, some of the most powerful art is sometimes soft or blurry, abstract, or intentionally imperfect. So what does all this mean for you as the artist? Well, when you are looking to buy a camera or deciding on which camera to use for your fine art project, what you should know is that it's not all about the amount of megapixels that a camera has. It's about the quality of the pixels and the pixel count in relation to the size of the image sensor. Just like brushstrokes on a canvas, it's the clarity, the size, and the intention that matters. Also, just use resolution as a tool, not as a hard and fast rule, because really, at the end of the day, the best camera is the one that helps you express what's in your heart, your mind, and your spirit. All right, guys, if you have any thoughts or questions, make sure to drop them in the comments below. And if this video helped you, make sure to like and subscribe for more great content. Also, make sure you click the link below for my free gear list where you get all of my recommendations for the best cameras, lenses, tripods, and more depending upon the type of work you're doing. And lastly, remember, great art doesn't have to be made with great gear. It's made by great vision. So keep creating, and I'll see you in the next video.